Oh, praise them. Good morning, our wonderful people. We are happy to be here today, and God has allowed us to see another day. So, welcome to the program. Let me put on my glasses. How am I going to see? Today is July, July 1st of 2023. We are excited to be here. Our topic is very exciting today. Is Conquest through Deception. You saw our promo going out this week. We are always, the Holy Spirit is doing what it's supposed to do. Our ancestors are they are in sync, sending us informations on what we need to do, and hoping that you guys are also getting this information and sharing with one another. So in the interest of time, I am going to hurry up. My name is Mona Chimsaga, and I'm here in Houston, Texas.
Thank you so much, my sister. My name is Dr. Simon Okube. I live in Lexington, Kentucky. Thank you so much for coming to, watch us today again for us to discuss. And please help us to share, like, subscribe. We want to be playing a video while we are sharing so that we'll keep ourselves engaged while that is going on. But the real show will start after we're done sharing. Please invite everyone because the information we're giving out is very important. There's also a video we posted on our wall, how hypnosis works. What is holding your people down? How come your people are not alert to what is going on? And you understand. When you understand, so you know how to handle this. Please, let's continue to share. Thank you. This is what the church is doing to our people, because they're all together as partners.
What's going on?
We are not asking you to give so the church can be blessed. We're asking you to give so you can be blessed. The church is a blessed body.
I want to see people driving a Lamborghini. I want to see somebody walk out of this place today and you buy your Bentley.
I've always wondered what the most profitable business in Africa is. I know your answer might be, say, oil, or mining, or politics. Our politicians are big businessmen with a sprinkle of government power. However right you may think you are, that isn't the case. You see, oil requires capital for land and machinery, and so does mining, not to mention taxes. However, there is a business that is relatively easier to start and runs on basically free labor, or should I say volunteers, and isn't taxed a single dime. This is none other than a religious institution, specifically a church. But how does it all work? How do they make money? Well, to answer that question, we have to take it from the horse's mouth itself. If you posed a question like, why does the excessive luxury of a few exist alongside the poverty of millions in a continent rich in resources? Pastor Chris Oyakirmi, the head of Christ Embassy, a mega church in Nigeria, may respond by saying that poverty is a disease that affects individuals who lack faith. Poverty is a demonic force that can only be wrestled into submission via spiritual battle. That alone is the premise for the most profitable business strategy on the continent. Now, we've established the premise of the business strategy, but how do they go about validating their point?
Now, giving does not automatically result into prosperity. You have to be spiritual for your giving to command returns. You have to be spiritual.
Please share.
Why don't you own commercial real estate?
Help us to share.
Yes, you.
Subscribe, like, share to our people.
I mean, anyone can say anything and people won't care. But
need to
what
be
if it
free.
came from the Bible, or at least implied from the Bible? They would require something that motivates people enough to give everything they have and more, just so they can be wealthy, because of the premise of the business strategy, as earlier mentioned. No one wants to be poor, but if they had faith and gave their tithe, success is at their doorstep. This sort of dogma is what's known as the prosperity gospel. The prosperity gospel provides strength to those who are powerless and adrift in the midst of a socio-economic crisis. But it's a hollow call in the end, because it obscures the underlying nature of poverty and hence pulls nations away from addressing it. Instead of opposing politicians' ineffective or self-serving economic policies, prosperity preachers condemn their congregations for lacking the faith to rid themselves of poverty. Rather than criticizing multinational corporations' monopolies over resources, sermons encourage people to seek individual financial uplift through offerings, despite the fact that the greatest victories against poverty have been achieved through collective political action and economic restructuring. The prosperity gospel raises the notion that people with limitless willpower can rise from poverty, the religious equivalent of telling the impoverished to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. At most, it's a tranquil diversion from reality, lulling followers to sleep while we're still dominated by elites that value profits and power over people. Today, the prosperity gospel is one of Nigeria's largest exports, with some megachurches boasting over 25 million members and a footing in practically every continent. Bishop Oyedepo's Living Faith Church is one of the most well-known in Nigeria. If you are not a tither, you end up a beggar, Bishop Oyedepo has said, referring to the church's stance on tithing. The main church, Tabernacle of Faith, nearly fills its 50,000-seat capacity every week. We can reasonably infer that half of the congregation tithes at least 10% of their monthly income, because
Right.
tithing is a basic belief of the church. Because many megachurches have a large and wealthy internet following, and at least 900 million naira in at minimum in tithes each year, assuming each paid the federal minimum wage of 30,000 naira, that will equate to a weekly collection of 75 million naira from the auditorium crowd.
All right, we're going to post this video in its entirety. We just wanted to give you guys a highlight, because for so many years now we'll be shouting, telling you guys that these churches are just business partners in our subjugation. And when there's nothing else that they're there to do than to ensure that to misdirect you. While your oppressors are there oppressing you, they will tell you what's oppressing you is on the other side. Like when I on this side, that's where the oppression is coming from. So we have already known, and we want to thank this video for sort of explaining it, because you guys like to believe it when you hear it in that British accent. It's okay. We just want you guys to get it. So we'll post this video in its entirety, and we'll continue to play this video on a daily basis, just to remind you guys that you guys, again, you live in an estate where anything goes. Whatever they are doing to us is multifactorial. They are doing it with church on one side, they are doing it with poverty on the other side, they are doing it with discord in the family from the other side, they are doing it with all kinds of stuff. So until we figure this out, if you recall, this narrator was saying that in order for you to make an effective change, that you have to focus on the policy and the governmental policies and those kind of things. But no, they're telling you now, come for fasting and praying and misdirecting you. And you are giving them your money that you can actually put together in a community and do something tangible for yourself. Now you're directing it to the church. So it just, again, validate that they're just business partners running you down while they're growing their wealth. Go ahead, my sister.
Yes. The proper, we'll start the proper show, because the title today is Conqu3st TRu Deception. So this is just a like by the side, because that deception entered through somewhere, like my sister said. Church is part of that system of deception. Politicians, crooked politicians, the military, all the whole everything. Like what you said, the more you look, the less you see. So they organize everything, You would think you're chasing something, but it's something else that you're doing. You don't even know. So please help us to share, help us to like. My sister is going to come up and then introduce this show properly, and then we'll move. We're just trying to use that to keep you busy while you're sharing so that we don't just leave you
Hanging.
quiet. Yes. So let's move. Please share, like, subscribe. Thank you very much.
Yes, we always have to share. So our topic is in direct order with what we are showing today, which is conquest through deception. An effective conquest takes place when physical appropriation, that is taking of something for one's else use without the permission of the owners. And we're talking about things like territories. It's also called annexation, which then is followed by subjugation, meaning the legal process of transferring title. This is again a description by Google on what conquest is, and we are under that conquest. Erufai has told us that. He validated that they are, finally meeting the goal of their grandfather, their Usman Dan Fodio assertion so many years ago. The Nigerian public has been told severally by the Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination, NINAS, not NINAS, NINAS, that what they call their country has been hijacked by some foreigners and non-indigens who did not only take our lands and our resources, they imprisoned all of us. As if that's not bad enough, they are now killing us and at the verge of completely displacing the original inhabitants and renaming these ancient territories to hand over or cover up their crime. This explains why the managers of this stolen estate called Nigeria do not treat Nigerians like citizens, but like slaves with no rights. Therefore, they do not involve them in any decision making, especially when it comes to matters of serious concern. So today our goal is to expose to you guys the details of our liberation and empowerment against those who have vowed to make our lives miserable. We are asking the indigenous peoples to wake up. These things are not too hard. Our God has gone ahead of us, 23 years ahead of us, as if he knew that we'll arrive at a time like this, in a situation like this. He has already begun the work. What he's waiting for you guys is to key in, understand what you're being told to do, and these things will come to an end. There is no need for us to continue to suffer. There is no need for us to continue to run in circle. There is no need for us to continue to empower their business partners, no matter who they are, whether they come in the name of churches, Islam, whatever they may be. They come into motivational speakers, because I heard a lot of them that used to own church now have realized, oh, if you're not using the Bible, now you can go and motivate people and tell them they can become who they are not. And we know that these are the tools that they are using to distract you from what the actual issues are. So I'm going to play the theme video for today, and our lawyer will explain this to you. Welcome, our brother Ogumbo. Don't worry about me. I don't say anybody's name right.
Your name is not intentional.
We appreciate you, okay? And if you massacre mine, I won't be offended either, because I did do a good job. So welcome to the program. I'm going to pull up the first video. Please continue to help us to share.
Yes, please.
Let's wake up. We are in this together. We are fighting for a future for our children.
Yes.
It's not fair that we are giving birth and we are not doing anything and living. And these children are not even as strong as we are. If any of these things that we are facing come to us, and they will just hand up and say, just, enslave me, do whatever you need to do.
Yes.
So for those of us that still have sense, let's wake up and do the right thing.
Yes, we come to you today with an extraordinary alert. A few days ago, this is June 2023, a few days ago, this fellow that was governor in Kaduna, what's his name again, Nasir El-Rufai, was caught on video addressing some Muslim clerics. And then he was telling them about the victory they have now achieved over the rest of Nigeria, that will now be an Islamic, state, some kind of, that they has done it in Kaduna, they've now replicated it at the center, and by the time everybody does their first 8 years and another 8 years, that they have taken over. Well, for those who do not understand what game is being played, Ninas will explain it to you now. El-Rufai was talking about Islam because he wants to deceive you who do not know. What he was celebrating with his confederates is basically the success of the conquest agenda of the Fulani, that the Fulani now own Nigeria, and that nothing anybody can do. That was why he probably did not plan to make it something everybody should hear. But in these days of technology, somebody recorded him, and the whole world now knows. That is a confirmation of the suspicion, our charge, which has been in the realm of allegation, conjecture in the minds of those who have not paid sufficient attention. But we who have gone to research how we came about this union of death, this union of master and servant, this constitution of slave and slave master, unitary constitution of Nigeria. We have traced the emergence of that unitary constitution, that constitution of master and servant, that constitution that makes Nigeria the exclusive possession, the exclusive property of the Fulani. We traced it back to 1960. The battle script of Ahmadu Bello, the mission statement of Ahmadu Bello in October 1960. While the rest of Nigeria was drinking champagne for what was labeled independence, Ahmadu Bello was celebrating something entirely different with his lieutenants. And he told them that the new nation called Nigeria should be an estate of our great-grandfather Uthman Danfodio. We must ruthlessly prevent a change of power. We use the minorities of the North as willing tools and the South as a conquered territory, and never allow them to rule over us, and never allow them to have control over their future. This was reported in Parrot newspaper of 12th October 1960. Now, this battle script by Ahmadu Bello brings us to two things. We go to the map of Nigeria. The MNN was the precursor to Ninas. The map of Nigeria that puts Nigeria in the four compartments of its natural fault lines. The upper part that is the Sharia belt in green. The purple you see is the middle belt, and that middle belt includes southern Kaduna, southern Borno, and all the Christian fringes of those 12 states that went to do Sharia in year 2000 simultaneously. So let's be clear that that middle belt it does not respect the southern boundaries of those 12 states. The Christian communities from Chibok all the way to Zuru in Kebbi, from the east to west of that, the line is drawn by the reality of who is on ground, not what Nigeria did by decree. And so you come down south, you see the blue block is the Yoruba that includes Yoruba of Kwara, Yoruba of Kogi, and part of Edo, if they may go to plebiscite to determine. And then the balance of what you have is the lower Niger. That's the former Eastern region and the former Midwestern region together. But even as it is brown on as you see, there's a map that delineates the ethnic constitution of that lower Niger. That's eastern half of southern Nigeria. You know, so we're trying to bring you to see what Ahmadu Bello was talking about in that battle script. So you have seen this map now. That's the first thing that comes. So you begin to imagine the processes in keeping with that instruction, that mission statement, that vision of the Ahmadu Bello. The ruthlessness you saw in that battle script was what attended to the quarrel with Eastern Nigeria between 1966 and 1970. Those nearly over 3.5 million, by Gowon's account, he said they had to kill 5 million people to preserve Nigeria. That was Gowon's figure. We say no less than 3.5 million got killed, of which no less than 2 million were children who were deliberately starved to death. You saw the video from Red Cross just the other day. And so it was that ruthlessness that Ahmadu Bello dictated in that battle script of 1960 that attended to that what should have been a civil war. But General Philip Effiong's son just released a book in which he said, a book entitled An Uncivil War. The war was not any kind of civil war. It was a war between countries. You say there was a country called Biafra at the time, which was the eastern region that had to pull away when genocide was launched against it, and the rest of Nigeria. Of course, there are renegades in the coastal side of eastern Nigeria that eventually went with them. Anyway, we come back to the question of ruthlessly preventing a change of power. Kill whoever you have to kill. Seize all their assets. Don't ever let them recover. Don't stop. That's what that means. You come down to the using the willing tools of the North, the minorities of the North as willing tools. Back to our map. Look at the people that did the killings on behalf of that caliphate. You see Gowon, you see Danjuma, you see Jeremiah Husseini, you see David Mark, and the whole number of them. On that map, 80% of the killings that had to be done, they presided over it. And that's how they could come to the victory charter. At the close of proceedings in 1970, everybody had been beaten down. Oh yes, let's kill the Igbo and their neighbors. And so the victory charter from that war was what became constitution between 1975 and 1979. Now look at who processed that constitution for them. Yes, Murtala Mohammed commissioned it, Kano. But he died in February of 1976, and so his second in command, Olusegun Obasanjo, took charge and then executed what would become the permanence. The Ahmadu Bello meant that this situation in which the Fulani will prevail and own Nigeria must be permanent. So the constitution, the unitary constitution that was imposed as victory charter from that war of 67 to 70, the so-called Biafran War, is the mechanism by which the victory was made permanent. So their victory was codified, and it was a member of the slave South, a member of the conquered territory, because if you are conquered, you are a slave. So Obasanjo essentially was the head slave who had to do for the master what the master wanted. And so Obasanjo presided over the processing of that victory charter into constitution that became 1979 constitution. And it was the same Obasanjo that caliphate found to bring out from prison in 1999 to reinforce and reinstate that 1979 constitution. That is where we are. It is that victory of having that Ahmadu Bello's vision transformed into reality, imposed. All our assets are gone. The oil and gas of Niger Delta is taken by that constitution. The ports of Lagos, the ports of Port Harcourt, taken by that constitution. The bitumen of Ondo, taken by that constitution. The limestone of Benue, for which Dangote has become richest, Africa's richest man, taken by that constitution. The right to build your infrastructure, railway, road, everything, taken by that constitution. All the institutions, all the armed forces today, controlled by those same set of people. And so, what El-Rufai, in case you did not understand, I want you to understand that El-Rufai is saying to all of us that that vision of Ahmadu Bello that has been, operationalized by way of the constitution that codifies their stranglehold, their victory over all of us, has now been completed. And the ethnic cleansing we see, the Fulani invasion that is going on, is happening within the context of that conquest that has now to be finalized by the elimination of the future claims. The ethnic cleansing, the killings happening in southern Kaduna, killings happening in Plateau, killings happening in Nasarawa. Benue is coming to Port Harcourt. It will sweep eastern Nigeria. It's not going to leave Yoruba out. If anybody is stupid enough to think that Yoruba will be treated differently, sorry for you.
Terrible.
You can ask about Afonja and what happened to Ilorin. They are not going to leave anybody. So El-Rufai is telling us in triumphant arrogance, he's now boasting that they have conquered and they are going to just take it. What can any of you do? The reason he's able to do that is that constitution that is the victory, the codification of their victory is still prevailing. The only reason that constitution is still prevailing is that all of you are going to election every 4 years, pretending to be doing a democracy on the basis of a constitution of master and servant that puts you as servant, that take your assets, that put all the guns in the hands of those who took your assets to order you around, those who control the electoral machinery, because that constitution has 68 items on the exclusive list. Everything on that list is controlled by Fulani. Whether it's arms and ammunition or elections, everything on that list, your economic assets, refinery, that's why Dangote is given monopoly. Having hijacked all of what belonged to all of us, they are now giving it out to themselves as concessions. And we're here clapping and cheering that we are growing our democracy, deepening our democracy. And so, what are we to do with all this information? We have a choice to make. To surrender, to be slaughtered to the last, because they're coming. They're not going to stop. You saw, if you remember, before the election came, we had in a broadcast raised an alarm to alert our people that the election they're advertising is a decoy, something to deceive you into thinking you are going from. They have their plan A and plan B, and that the election is just plan C. In case their plan A fails and their plan B does not sail through, they fall back to plan C, that they will control the outcome, because they already have a mechanism to control the outcome. But they don't want to be doing democracy with you. They had their plan A is conquest by invasion. You saw the pace at which they were coming when Buhari first came. Buhari threw our borders open, and Fulani came from everywhere across the Sahel, across West Africa, pouring in with weapons, slaughtering people, overrunning whole communities, and changing the names as they went along. El-Rufai was a resident commander. You remember when Dr. Melafia, Obadiah Melafia,
Yes.
only them know how he eventually got killed. I will not be surprised if it is from within the circle of let's take them out. You saw the woman leader of Labour Party in Southern Kaduna and how she went. So the El-Rufai that is boasting now about that conquest that they have almost completed is only the God that wants to save all of the rest of Nigeria, that has forced him to open his mouth and boast about the existence and potency. Mark my words, the existence and potency of the Fulani conquest agenda. That is what El-Rufai has confirmed.
Yes.
And we have traced it back to where their champion, Ahmadu Bello, instructed them on what to do. El-Rufai is reporting to us that they've done that thing, they have seized the place, and they are now eliminating the people who, the claimants, the people who are going to say it belonged to us yesterday. That's what the constitution already make your land their land. That preamble that
the preamble that said, we the people. You are part of that we the people. They are saying that you invited them to come and kill you and conquer you. That's what they're just saying. The 1999 Constitution, what it's saying is that you, the indigenous people, whether you call yourself Igbo, you call yourself Biafra, you call yourself Yoruba, you call yourself Ijo, you call yourself Efik, you call yourself Tik, Hausa, whatever it is that you call yourself as indigenous person, the Fulani nation is saying that you invited them to come and kill you, destroy you, take your land and rename it by you upholding and swearing to keep that 1999 Constitution. So if you are here pushing your politicians and they are swearing, I want to keep, I will keep, I want to keep, what you are simply doing, what Ninas is telling you is that you are inviting those that are killing you and giving them the permission, the ticket, the visa, the green card to take your resources and rename your land. It's already happening in Middle Belt. It's happening in Southern Kaduna. It's happening in Plateau. It's happening in Benue, everywhere. It's happening in Northwest, Northeast. Agwanti, Onoro, Ebe PC, Ntiesoye, Ndi Igbo. Stay there and be running up and down on Facebook and shouting Biafra, Biafra, thinking that's how your solution will come. Your solution will not come from there. That is not how things work. There is a process, and Ninas have put the process in place. If you want freedom, if you want self-determination, in the Yoruba nation, you've been shouting Yoruba nation, Yoruba nation. You think it's by shouting Yoruba nation and following one old professor up and down that doesn't know how he's left from his right. You think that's how you get your self-determination? Are you going to reinvent the wheel? Meanwhile, you're claiming that you're educated. If you're educated, show your education, show your brain in the things you're doing and saying. Not following people that don't know, like you think it's history. You reciting history of Yoruba land when your forefathers were strong. You think that's what will give you self-determination? Things do not happen that way. Share this video. Share, like, subscribe. Get it out so that our people will get information and wake up from their deception. They are being deceived. Please go ahead, my sister.
Go ahead with what, my dear? I'm out. I am out with all this information that is out there for our people to move in the right direction. They are still there empowering their enslavers. They are still there being confused. So just like we always do, we want to remind you that you live in Osman Danfodio's estate. And until you come out of that estate, you will continue to be their slave. So there's no other way to tell it to you. Brother Tony did a wonderful job explaining it there in the video. We have the Nina's voice.org. If you go in there, we have wealth of information on how to get this self-determination. Things have been set up on a progressive manner on how we can move from point A to point B to point C, so that you're not being deceived by anyone. You're not being deceived by people that gather our people on their platform and be making money. It's all about you two paying them. And we are coming here as concerned mothers, as concerned sisters, as concerned citizens, wanting to give you guys freedom that this so-called God you believe in say he's going to give us abundantly. He's not going to come down. He's already, that freedom is there. We just have to go and get it. And we get it by being empowered with the correct information. So today our objectives, we're going to look at Nigeria, the union of master and servant. And anyone that does not understand this must be running out of their mind as usual, because we've already identified that most of our people are suffering from identity crisis. When you are not proud to speak your language, when you begin to massacre your name and begin to answer other people's name in order so that you can fit in, only for them to come and give you a dirty slap with your fake name. So you can see how that will confuse the hell out of anyone. We're going to look at way out of this British Nigerian jail, because we are all in jail, whether you like it or not. Actually, prison, because jail, you can easily come out. Prison is the one they give you 100 years plus extra lifetime. I was watching this judge, he gave somebody 100 years and another lifetime. So that's where you guys are. And then, of course, we're going to look at the 5-point agenda and announcement. And we cannot end without shining the spotlight on the answers, on the wisdom of our ancestors. So let's look at Nigeria, which is a union of master and servant. We know that since we've been in that place called Nigeria, we know there are a group of people that are benefiting from the system. And they will partner with their church people to confuse us as to what is going on. We know that Britain, should we say that they misstructured Nigeria to grant Fulani permanent veto. And when you make a minority to rule over majority, you can only be left with falsehood and force. This is by Odia Ofe Imam. He's a private secretary to Chief Awolowo, and he presented this information in one of his write-up. He knows where the skeletons are buried. So let's start with the Lugard mass wedding that we had in 1914. We know how that went down. That's if it went down, right? Because a lot of people that they claim signed whatever they signed, they are not even of age. We know that the colonialism disguised as a westernization and civilization. If you recall in our previous video, we remind you guys that westernization is not civilization, that you have been taught to change and become who you're not and gender affirm yourself from one position to another, that you've been told to use toothbrush to brush your teeth instead of atu, which is also an antiseptic, does not mean that they know what they're doing. My sister will say, Sister, how do you say that again? How do you say that again? Help me. Where are you? Unmute yourself. I can't see you on the screen.
Nkụ dị na mba na-egere mba nni.
There you go. So our Ato was working for us because you can never bring any of them out and their teeth is wider than ours. So we are definitely doing something right. And they also talked, we're also going to talk about union of imposition, like the one we see in South African apartheid, which is not a union of agreement. We know it's a union of master and servant. Somebody else is out there enjoying the resources and someone is out there dying while others are enjoying. And then they brought a so-called clash of civilization. Over there, they will tell you, oh, it's feudalism in the midst of their pseudo-democracy, because that's what we have. We don't have every democracy in Dara. It's not the same thing here in the Western world. And their so-called Sharia law. And they mix it up with democracy and constitutionalism. Can you imagine trying to cook rice with milk and sugar? What kind of outcome you will get? And that's what they've handed over to us. As if that's not enough, their so-called great-grandfather, whoever demonic entity the guy is, came out and told us that he's going to deal with us, set up a battle script for Islamization. And these people, from then on, they've been onward, marching forward to their onslaught. They are not relenting. They have a 50-year plan, 60-year plan. They are going every day. They started by GPSing our land. That was before even in Deutsche, the so-called Western people started building the GPS. These people already knew to GPS our place with their cows. All in the name of bringing cow, they will use it cross to the backyard. I remember how much havoc, how many children that got injured with cow walking freely all over in the neighborhood. It was all a part of them to gather information as to where everything is in our land. So it has been ongoing. We know that they represent an agreement between the Fulani Caliphate and British colonial master in their alliance. So once Mahdi Bello made that declaration, they know because they've already talked in the background. That's why he came out in public now to tell us through the BBC media how they're going to go down and make sure that we'll never control our future. And remind us that Nigeria is the estate of their grandfather's estate or the estate of the Fulanis. And they will use the North as a willing tool. And of course, the South as a conquered territory. I have never seen in a place since I was born where there is no army or some checkpoint checking you because you are enslaved. And then let's look at the 1966 North and West Alliance that they came up with to exterminate the Eastern region. Again, once again, killing over, they keep saying 3 million, 5 million, 10 million. You can imagine, right? Because when it comes to us, they will decrease the numbers. So we could be 10, 20 million even. And afterwards, everybody realized this, nothing happened, and they kept it moving. To make matters worse, the class of 1966, they are still in place with their military terror wing of alliance of 1967 and 1966. They have left us in a dark situation. These people are still in charge of things that we're doing. They will either join the church, like Gowon will join the church and tell us to come and pray for one Nigeria. Danjuma will sit over there and tell you, they are coming to kill you. I told you they are coming. He went for a speech. He left what he was saying to tell us they are coming to kill us after they are worked as part of the killing squad.
Imagine.
Yes.
Join the spirit to kill. Then in the morning you come for funeral with the human beings. Imagine.
It's terrible. So you look at them, Gowon, Danjuma, Hussaini, David Mark, Obasanjo, Buhari, Babangida, they are still there jiving. That's why before you can even run for election, even if you're obedient, you have to go and show them that you're obedient. They have to endorse you.
Yep.
Because the damn place belongs to them. They are working for the slave masters, yes. So you cannot go anywhere without getting power or permission from them. And then there's the imposed unitary 1975 and /1979, as well as the 1999 Constitution, which is the victory charter of what is making them do what they're doing now. There's nothing you can do. Obasanjo makes sure that that they completed that project. Obasanjo, the willing tool. And he was well rewarded. He would take over half of the territory space that we have. He even will sleep with his son's daughter because he's just that too much.
Son's wife.
I mean, son's wife.
We don't know. That's what
maybe his ancestors bringing that one out. Maybe he slept with his son's daughter.
Allegedly.
Son's wife. And now the caliphate is using that fraud called 1999 Constitution to run the so-called illicit federal government of Nigeria. And there's nothing you can do. That means anyone can come and rule you. They will put state government in place. State government will now hire those they want to be local chairman, and they will decide what happens to the money. It's like a bunch of criminal enterprise. There's no other way to decide. Yeah, they can gang membership running loose without any oversight.
But that's what it says now. Our gang members, they married together. How else do you become gang? That's what it is.
Yeah. And then we look at the background of all these gang members. They be gang banging since they were in college. So they didn't even start now. They were groomed very well from high school. Did I say college? High school. And then they went to university. They upgraded their gang membership. And then now those gang members are the one gang membering all of us. Babangida registered Nigeria in OIC, Organization of Islamic Countries. So it's not unusual, or it should not be surprising, that they're trying to Islamize everyone. We got a video of some of our brothers that went from, I don't know if it was Omai or Ongwa. They are in Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
Celebrating Eid and telling us now they were fun. when we have churches all over the garden place, fake churches anyway, deceiving our people. And Buhari reminded us that Sharia and Islam must be spread throughout Nigeria. Again, on Sharia and Islam must be spread throughout Nigeria. You guys are under OIC. You are part of the Organization of Islamic Countries. And as long as Nonora keeps sleeping and pretending like all is well, it's just a matter of time. Like Erufai told you, they will complete their process.
Please help us to share, like, subscribe. We'll give you solution, because sometimes some people say, okay, we know some of these things. What is the solution? At the end, we'll give you solution. Some people don't know, you know. So share it to our people, because if they know, they will not be doing what they're doing. No. Share it. The message is not out enough. Share it to our people. At the end of the show, we will bring the solution for you, because we have solution. Thank you, yes. My sister, please.
And our brother Ogubo said that, yes, these people own Nigeria. Yes, they do, my brother. They own it. Yes. So anybody going there to, run any kind of election with them, you're just deceiving yourself.
That's true.
That's it. You're just deceiving they own Nigeria. You're right. They have been handed over Nigeria, and they're working for the British enterprise. That's why you have to go to 10 Downing to go and visit them. That's why if any little baka happens, people like Tony Blair will end up in Kaduna immediately with his first flight out. They still own Nigeria. It doesn't belong to you.
These politicians know this thing, but they want to deceive our people as if they're different from those that are in front of them. It's all deception, my people. It's all deception. Before you know it, they will congratulate the person that won. Meanwhile, I say one, the person that they selected. Meanwhile, they knew that the person was selected before they brought themselves to distract our people from doing something that would deliver them.
Yes. I was watching reading a news, this World Bank news, and they're saying that the European Union are concerned that Nigerians are they are not happy about the so-called democracy that we are practicing, and giving this like they're writing jazz as if we don't know what is going on.
There's no democracy. There's nothing to be happy about. There is no democracy. We're not practicing democracy. We are practicing power by the worst people in our midst, the worst of us. What is that big name that you call? The worst of
Conqu3st, my dear, let me not break my tongue. Conqu3st, because they are the one that will come up with all this criminality. I will never think of anything like that.
They know. I won't bite my tongue for telling them. We already know that is the worst of us that they impose on us to lead us. So it's not democracy. And we told our people, please stop validating it and showing the world that you are practicing democracy by standing in front of them, or your church people telling you to bring PVC. There is no democracy. Stop the lies and the deception.
No, they are just business partners. They are working on their own front, and the other group are working in their own front, or the other group is working on their own front. So, and then as if it's not enough, as part of their multifactorial tools, they brought religion and deception. So this part is Islam, this part is Christian, and then you mix them all together, and then they'll go more on the other side, and then continue the slavery in the name of spirituality. The churches will use their teachings to suppress our people. I remember before my father died, they claimed that he's owing some money from night that they made him when he was already about to die. They said he's owing. I said, owing after this man, all he did for you guys at 94, 95.
Yes.
Yeah, they has made a night. And I told him not to join that stupid night then. They convinced him to join. And then they claim that, there's a little change that's supposed to be paid. I said, we're not paying anything. You guys are criminal. When we confronted the guy that is in charge, he said, my sister, if we don't collect the money, the bishop will cut off their necks.
That's what they do. All those bishops, priests, and pastors, all of them, draining our people that is draining our people completely, even when they're old. Even when they're old age.
The man said, with everything my father did for them, the cathedral he built for them and everything, that nobody should be charging him nothing.
No.
They wanted to collect money.
They don't care.
So none of them. You don't even have access to your so-called bishops.
No.
The local priests are afraid of contacting their bishops.
Yes. They can't talk to them. They can't talk truth to them. Because they own them. They own their lives. Sorry.
Yes. That mind is sorry. That it's okay. You can see that the churches use their teachings to suppress our people, destroy. They even went as head as destroying our protective practices, our cultures, our cultural practices that we have. And we're using this opportunity to call our people to begin to build your OB back and put the things that your ancestors own and be able to go in there and speak to them whenever you want to.
Yes, please.
Under our watch, Islam is taking over. Like I said, our brothers are now going to Eid. I don't know the last time somebody came to Christmas party, that you fake Christmas party anyway, because there's nothing like Christmas. It was all fake, part of the tools. And then the politicians are there pretending like we have democracy. Now that it's summer, all of them are here this summer. I'm telling you, after their graduation of their children, they are all hanging in here, houses everywhere. The ones that in our neighborhood a few years ago, they sold that house. It was almost $475,000. They sold that house because the stupid man did not cut his grass, the stupid politician. And they sold his house in auction. You know why he abandoned the house? Because in his father's house, there are many mansions. That's one of the ones he can hand over to his
Yeah, he
girlfriend.
didn't suffer to get it. Why
He
would
didn't
you
suffer
worry
to
himself
get it.
about it? It's
He
one
didn't
of
even
the,
care to look online and call one of us. We all live in the same neighborhood. I said, okay, cut this grass or pay this neighborhood fees or whatever, so they won't take the house. No,
he
this
doesn't need
animal
it.
allowed
He
them
doesn't
to
need it.
confiscate
Confiscate it, yes.
Guinea,
Yes, yes.
the house for
Like I
almost
said,
$500,000
it's
over grass cutting.
crazy. So many places
This is
all
the
over
one that I
UK.
know. Yeah, because I happened to gather the alert for the auctioning of the house.
Okay.
That's what they're doing because it's all about them. They will get money and support their brothers and sisters all over. It's like our money now belongs to their family. They will use it to sponsor themselves.
That's what it is now. That's what when we are saying, let's do something that will favor everyone so that everybody will be comfortable. They will never be part of it because they're benefiting from the status quo. They're benefiting, all of them.
All of them. Them
They're
and
in
their children.
cahoots. I want this role, you.
Yeah, so much money he couldn't even pay the grass cutter. Grass here then was could have easily cut that grass when I was looking at the house, maybe $20 every 2 weeks.
Yeah, imagine losing an entire how many a fortune because of $20 because he did not make the money. He stole it.
So those are the things that you will hear. They will tell us that they're removing subsidies to distract the people from read the election. And if that's so, right? If you guys are
that's what they did. They chose to remove the subsidy at this time because they knew they rigged the election and the people will start revolting or protesting or whatever. So they had to render them useless. So is it after you have trekked 24 hours going home that tomorrow somebody will tell you to come and protest? You listen to them? No. Why is it now that they removed the subsidy? The way they did it, you will know that it was intentional to make the people weak.
Minimize movement.
Yep. Them, yes, minimize movement so that you don't come out to say, hey, you do the election. And that is part of the strategy.
It's part of the strategy. Yes, yes. It will cost you now more. I heard that it will to go from Oka to Aguata or something. I don't know, to the village close to Aguata area. You're looking, it's all Oka in Aguata, my dear. I don't know. But the guy that was telling us, he just arrived. He said that the trip that used to cost them $1,200, I mean, 1,200 naira now is 10,000 naira.
It has to be. People are filling their fuel with their tank with 40,000 naira. The salary has not increased. Why the rush? You see what we are saying? They're not doing it because of any reason that they're giving to you. It's all deception. If it's all so that the oil will be available, the subsidy and everything, fix the refineries. But they will not do that because that's not the issue. They just want to distract you. They just want to deceive you. They just want you to suffer. They are not there to represent your interest.
Ever.
Wake up, our people.
Ever. So as they're removing subsidies, they are giving themselves huge benefits.
Exactly.
Practicing their culture of waste. Giving themselves 150-car convoy. The wife told us that they don't want your money. We are so rich. We don't want your money. We're here to rule. Within a week of taking over, they increase all their salaries.
Anna Manu, you don't want their money. The money you have, is it not Lagos State money? Is it your money? How can a thief say, I don't want your money? When the thief stops wanting money, people's money, that's the job you do. You're a thief, you're a criminal, you continue to steal. That's your job. Deception, deception.
Deception, deception, the lies, the lies, the lies. As if the waste is not enough. They have offered themselves 30 personal aides, the politician, can you imagine? Just to carry these people along when the teacher is there waiting for her salary to feed her children. And then they will empower the media and the fake news and the propagandas. They're all there. They told Jagaban, this and that, and people are burning in hell. A lot of manipulation and distraction going on. And our people are still trying to figure out what's going on, as if it's not enough. They will tell you in the church, the Lord you serve will give you Bugatti. The Lord that you serve will give you this week, he will give you Mercedes.
Lie, lie. Deception, deception.
And then to make it even more intense, we are watching the asset stripping and economic monopoly by the enemy Dangote. And the Forbes magazine will term him as the richest Black man in African continent.
Mm-hmm. If
They
you
are
steal
all in
everything
this
that people
together.
own, won't you become richest?
All of them. As people are dying of hunger, they are busy going on a submarine trips. You can't even find food to eat. They are busy having the best time of their life, buying boats or yacht, because I was in the boat now. Which one is the most expensive one? I think an annual boat for $250 million. When people are dying of hunger. So with all these things that we are watching, as the so-called Jangaban, because I hear again, showed up to become your president, because we heard that Peter B is even acknowledging him as his president, and you guys are there waiting for mandates. We've been telling you guys that he has been settled, because he only has one watch. Maybe they gave him another one to put on the other hand, and you will be there waiting for mandates until the mandate swallows you. So all these things they have done, according to the World Bank, because honey, they follow all these things because they are looking to see how many people they can remove from planet warming. They're keeping track of the numbers of people that will, go and see their ancestors. 4 million more Nigerians have been pushed into poverty in the first 6 months of 2023. 4 million. My people appreciate that. 4 million. Remember the widows, the children with no parents. Remember all of them in all of this. As if the suffering is not enough, there's an additional 4 million people that is feeling the heat of the decisions that you guys made when you went to that election while we were screaming. So sit with that while we continue with the show.
While we continue with the show, my dear. And they're saying that apart from the 4 million, that even, what did they even say? That 7.1 million more will join if they leave this subsidy that the so-called subsidy that they're removing. Do you know what that means? That's increased criminality. Because when the people are not taken care of, they will be pushed to the wall to do anything. So if you are in that your house, standing, increasing the wall to be on top, they are coming for you. Because the people eat. You increase criminality.
Maybe we need to send them a video of how people jump 20-story buildings from on floor. Okay. They will climb on it like spider and fly to the other side. Okay. It's possible.
When people are desperate, they can do anything. Don't keep the people desperate. But that is the job of the politicians and the church rulers and all of them that are partners in this crime. We are back to 19th century people. We are back. We told you that the more you follow these criminal politicians, the more you get back. They're not here to move you forward. They're here to move you backward. People will say, let me come and be going. You're come and be going. You're coming and you're going. That's what they're doing to us. Era of bondage, which is the age of Usman Dan Fodio jihad. That's what is happening everywhere. That jihad you heard about, that's where we are back to. African countries under the threat of Fulani insurgency and takeover. We are back to Usman Dan Fodio jihad. That was happening before the colonial masters came. The slave trade, the everything, all these things. See the picture in front of you. We are back to 19th century. Others are in 21st century, but we in Africa are back to 19th century because the church deceived us. The politicians deceived us. The colonial masters deceived us. All of them deceived us. We thought we were moving forward. We didn't know we were moving backwards. You're walking like you're going forward, but you're actually moving backwards. Nigeria, though Christian majority before and Fulani minority, Nigeria is going down under Islamic Fulani takeover because they use Islam as a cover. It's not real jihad like the Islam, because we have some people, Islam, Hausas were Muslims before the Fulanis came. Yoruba people were Muslims before Fulani people came. So it's not really like, oh, pure jihad. It is ethnic cleansing. It's what did they call supremacy? It's Fulani, a tribe, feeling that they're superior to every other people. Is feudalism that's spreading. It's not Islam, but they're coming with deception. Just like the British came and deceived us that they were bringing Christianity. But what they were bringing was colonialism. They were coming to colonize us, but they said they're bringing Christianity. That's the same way these Fulani people are bringing conquest, but they have to lie that is Islam they're bringing. It's Sharia. That when they bring Sharia, all corruption will stop. People will behave well. No, it's deception. Nigeria is under that threat. Burkina Faso, Christian majority and Fulani minority, under takeover by Fulani Islamic. As we speak. Mali, where there are 13.3% in Mali, but they have taken over. Côte d'Ivoire, majority Christians, Fulani minority, but they've taken over because they're aggressive like cancer. They're aggressive like cancer. Because some people say, why are they all taking over? Because the people are sleeping and they're aggressive like cancer, spreading everywhere with their venom. Guinea-Bissau, Christian majority, Fulani minority, but they're under takeover. The Gambia, Fulani minority, but they're over. They took over. Senegal, they're minority. Sierra Leone, they're minority. Now the Sierra Leone vice president is Fulani person. So they are taking over everywhere like cancer. Assuming somebody is coming to promote people and make people to be more peaceful, it will make sense. But that's not where they're coming. They're coming to kill people, take over their land, displace them, and rename the land. What is this all about? Why are you doing this? Why do you need to do this? Why can't you just be in your land and build it? But you're spreading everywhere like cancer, killing everybody.
And bringing death, my dear.
I'm bringing death everywhere. And then somebody will say, what is the way out? How do we come out of this mess? There's a way out. We are not here to lament and cry, because some people, all they do is go to social media, lament, cry, and wail. No, we are only telling you what is happening so that we can give you the solution. The solution is already on the table and we are working on it. We told you that what we do on social media is to inform you how far we have gone with the work. Because the work is going on the ground, not on social media. Social media is to pass information to you, and we are here to do it. What is the way forward? Because we've told you that this country called Nigeria is a jail, prison, like my sister said, built by Britain. You are not supposed to prosper. You're not supposed to succeed. That's not their intention when they built it. Their intention is a criminal enterprise. Their intention is to hold you down so that you will not have your destiny, you will not have your future in your hands, and you will run away everywhere, and they will come and take over the land, because you are living on a land full of resources, and they can't fathom why ordinary black monkeys are sitting on this vast resources, blessed land. And by the way, when the pastors tell you that you have to give offering to be blessed, tell them it's a lie, because you're already blessed. If you're not blessed, you will not be sitting on diamond. You will not be sitting on gold. You will not be sitting on crude oil. You will not be sitting on all the resources in this world that will make you a human being. God has already blessed you. You don't need to tithe. You don't need to give anybody any money for you to be blessed. You are already blessed. It's just that your blessing has been stolen by the politicians, the colonial masters, the jihadists, in cahoots with your pastors. So let's get this thing right. Way out. We're talking about way out. Activation of joint jailbreak for all the indigenous ethnic nations seeking freedom and self-determination. It has already taken place. It has been activated. You just have to be part of it. It's called joint jailbreak. Some people will come and stumble on NINAS and they will think, okay, work is just starting. No, this work is 23 years already. Strategies, plans, everything in place. If you go to the website, NINA's website, you see the strategy there. Nobody is coming now to give us any strategy because it's already there. Why are you reinventing what is already there? You just need to go understand it so that you know the part you need to play. It's like a puzzle. I do my part, you do your part, this person will do the part, we come together. That's why it's called joint jailbreak. We're going to work together. If you don't do your own part, there will be leakage from that side, and Fulanis will enter from that side and get you destroyed. So we're going to work together. It's not something you break by yourself. You say, yes, I can speak English. I have a professor. Let me go and do my thing, Jare. Before I finish your Jare, Fulani will come. Ibagam. Get your head down. We have to put our hands together and work together in this. Stop believing your lying senior advocates and lawyers. They know that the problem we have is the 1999 Constitution. But they chose to go and chase rats while the house is burning because they're going to make money from there. They are waiting for all these politicians. It's turn by turn. When the politicians finish all their magamago and their stealing of resources, they will come. They will come and take their own portion. It's national cake. So they will come for their own part. Stop believing them. Stop sustaining your enslavement, the imprisonment, subjugation, the suffering, all the things that you're going through. We are saying that you are the one sustaining it. You can terminate this thing today if you can just listen to what Ninas is saying. Yes, like my sister said, it's Ninas, not Ninas. Because Ndi will have a habit of pronouncing things in their own different way, confusing every other person. After they will not say, nobody knows about Ninas. When you're pronouncing it wrongly, Ninas, please get it right. And that word is constitutional force majeure. It's not the English word itself. So let's learn how to do it well so that we can get the information out. Stop your dance of death. Dance macabre. Please stop that with the criminal Nigerian politicians. Selfish Nigerian-made elites and middle class. They are made in Nigeria. They are very selfish, made in Nigeria elites and middle class. In other countries, the elites and people in middle class always try to do the environment and their society very well so that the poor people will not be poor, and then begin to steal and destroy the society. So they take it upon themselves to make sure that the society is properly built. Those that need social welfare get it. Those that are getting old get the help they need. The widows, the orphans, they take care of the poor because they know if they don't do that, you increase criminality. They understand it. But the elites and middle class in Nigeria, though they went to school, but they're as ignorant as any other thing because they cannot connect A to B. They were in class, studied medicine, studied law. They don't know how to carry those things they studied in class into practical in the environment. They don't. They can't make that connection. That's why you see somebody answering professor, but common sense he does not have. You see somebody asking medical doctor, but he does not know what it means. That, okay, I swore. I took the oath to keep people alive. They don't understand that keeping alive is not just in the hospital. That keeping alive is keeping alive the whole human being. Just like WHO told us that health is a holistic thing. That you are alive, you're healthy, is not just an absence of disease. But the medical doctor that is trained in Nigeria does not understand it. He thinks that his own health and life of human beings is just the one that they can do inside hospital. They do not understand what happened to people before they go to your hospital.
Hmm.
What will happen to them when they leave your hospital? They are all connected together.
Yep.
They are not able to link these things. That's why a lawyer will go to law school. Second year is when they teach you about constitution making. And you do not understand that constitution is a social contract. That if constitution is a social contract, that anything pertains to social contract, how it can be, the terms and everything will pertain to constitution. They don't make it. They are lawyers, so they are senior advocates, oh, they have read everything, oh. They don't understand this simple thing in second year, law school, second year. That's when you learn it at the beginning. Constitution making, the terms, is a social contract. If it's a social contract, then everything you have learned about social contract will affect constitution. So we talk of constitutional force majeure. If you have done it in class, you should understand what we are saying, what Ninas is saying. That this is part of it. Go back to your law school. Go back to your books. We are not here to castigate you. We're just saying that it's not good enough. That you learned something in class, but you're not able to apply it in the world. Why did you go to school then? You're a teacher. You can only teach physics, but you cannot use the mind that you used to teach physics to teach somebody how to eat apple. You think that teaching is only when it's physics that you can teach it. If you're already a trained teacher, then you can teach anybody anything. Just get the information. Sit down and get the information. The way you got the information of whatever, even if it's biology that you went to study, and we're talking about Ninas, the same way you studied your biology to write and become biology teacher, that's the same way you go and sit down to read templates, Nina's templates. You can understand it. It's so simple that even people that did not go to school can understand it. There are 10 things. Ninas call it interrogatories. It was published in Guardian newspaper September 26, 2022. 10 things that Ninas said, no matter who is in Aso Rock, they will never change. Those 10 things will never change. Yeah, Iwiri, if you may. So far, that person in Aso Rock is swearing to and upholding the 1999 Constitution. Google it. Nina's 10 interrogatories. You can Google them. Follow it one by one. We are saying your issue, your problem is not leadership. Your problem is fundamental. It's like a woman that found herself in an abusive relationship. And she will say, my husband. You now ask her, when did you do wedding? When did he marry you? Is it tradition? Is it court? Is he church? You say, actually, we are living together, but we really never married. Ha! Then your relationship is not called marriage. It's called cohabitation. So whatever that is worrying you, you have to go back to that place. If you move your properties and go and be living with a man, he did not talk to your people. He does not know your people. He does not owe your people any explanation of what he does to you. Anything that happens to you, nobody will blame him now because you carried yourself with your two left legs to the man's house. Duka, you beat you anyhow because he just slept and you came. He woke up and you came to his house. Maybe you were looking for accommodation. You couldn't pay for accommodation. Then you came to his house. He said, no, he's my boyfriend. Now you are doing the role of a wife. Meanwhile, you're not married. And then tomorrow you said the man abused you. You abused yourself. That's what is happening to indigenous people. Indigenous ethnic nations, you are abusing yourself. You did not go through proper marriage, proper union agreements, where the terms and everything will be decided, where you will say, this is how I want to be married. You didn't go through it. They captured you, carried you to a man's house, imposed the union on you. That's why they can afford to do anything to you. You're not a citizen yet. If you were a citizen, you will have rights. You are a slave. The way they carry slaves out of Africa, that's the way you got enslaved in your land. So before you begin to talk about Nigeria, you have to wake up first from slavery that you found yourself. Join in the effort to take the 1999 Constitution as the basis of this union of death, because this is not a union. This is not a union that will bring life. This is an imposed union. There's no agreement. There is nothing that was negotiated. It's just you sleep, you wake up, you sleep one day as a Nigerian person, you wake up one day, you answer Nigeria. You were not even there when the decision was made. You were not even there. So we'll go to this next slide. So we are saying way out. There's something that we saw, a video that we saw. It says, the video, you see these goats. They are not dead though, they are alive. It's the same goat that you see in the next picture. Do you see that wrapper? They said that when you take that wrapper and put on the head, it was a video, you put on the head of the goat, that immediately the goat will just lie down and sleep off. They will never move up. That is what the 1999 Constitution has done to our people. Put it on the head of our people, they're off. And we heard that's what the Fulanis did to the Hausa people. That they found out that this thing works, this hypnosis. So they started doing it to Hausa people until they expanded it. So it's like a jinx in the people. You are there, you are alive, but you're not living, you're just existing. Immediately remove that wrapper from the head. The patient, okay, watch it.
In my house, the way after putting wrap cloth on their bed, now we want to experiment. They say if we remove the cloth, they will run. Yeah. Remove one, leave the other one. Don't take the other one. Okay. Wait, put it again. Let's see whether it's. Remove the other one. Oh yeah, try it again. Put the goat down.
So if they put it again, you see the goat will go down again.
No, just get them.
That is 1999 Constitution on Nigerians. You can never be alive.
Yeah, try and get the goat.
You will not take
even if
your
it's just
future into your hands. So far, that wrapper, that 1999 Constitution
will sleep,
is on your head. So far, your politicians,
serious.
Your leaders, use it as what to lead you with. You will never be alive.
Leave them.
You will never be able. Can you see? The goat goes down again. You can try it in your neighborhood. Try it and understand what we're saying. We need to take down the 1999 Constitution. That's what we're saying. We need to bring it down so that our people can move forward. Stop listening to your criminal pastors, the priests, the bishops. Read your Bible by yourself if you must be a Christian. Stop trekking to fund your pastor's next private jet. Stop giving them money. They are rich already. It is your turn to give to you. Yes, it is their turn. You have given enough. It is their turn to give to you. When you go to Deuteronomy 14:28, it says, when you have finished tithing all the tithes of your produce in the third year, the year of the tithes, you shall give them to the Levites, the strangers, the orphans, and the widows, so that they can eat to satisfy in the cities, to satiety in the cities. This is what is supposed to be. Poor people are not supposed to be paying rich pastors. The only reason the tithe was instituted because Levites did not have land. God said that he is their inheritance. That as Levites, that he is their inheritance. So they had no land, no farm, nothing. That is why the Israelites have to bring in and feed them. Their work is in the house of God. They don't have another job apart from taking care of the church and being in the church. They don't have any other assignment. They are not writing books. They are not playing music. They are not doing any other thing. They are just in the house of God, worshiping God and taking care of the house of God. That's why God said, okay, those of you that I gave land, I brought you and gave you land. Then you have to feed these people. That's how he instituted it. He said that there will be feed. And you're not just feeding the Levites, you're feeding the widows, because their husbands are dead and they're not able to farm enough to take care of the children. You're feeding the strangers because strangers did not have land. You're feeding the orphans because their parents are dead. This thing, God put it in place to take care of the poor so that there will be balance in the society. But these criminals took it over, started robbing God. Yes, your bishop, your pastor, your priest, they are robbing God. And they should better start returning the things that they stole from God. They are the criminals. If you must go to church, don't give them any money. You're poor. Go and listen to their therapy. If it's making you, go and dance to the music. If it's making you to forget your sorrow, don't give them any money anymore because you're already poor. Pastors, bishop, you need to repent. Turn around from your evil ways. Go back to your altar, temple, churches. You misled the people the way you lied to them, telling that the battle where AK-47, that the enemy is coming with AK-47, that is plastic PVC, that they will use to win it. You see, the people are being slaughtered now in Benue, Plateau, Nasarawa, Southern Kaduna. You caused it. Yes, you are guilty, child. Go back to your altar. The way you moved obedient and pushed to PVC, go back and push Nina's template, because that's the only thing that can free our people. Go and tell the people and the whole world that election will not solve the problem of Nigeria, that the constitution is the problem, and we need to go into transition immediately. Yes, that mouth you used to go and promote PVC, go and promote Ninas. You must identify with Ninas and the indigenous people. That template for self-determination is what all of your bishops, we are not begging you, bishop or pastor, we are not begging you, because by the time you wake up, you will leave your church. So you marry head again, if you know what is good for you, you better start running with this template and this campaign right now, because we need to renegotiate this union of death, killing our people. Stop working for darkness if you believe that you're children of light. Start doing the right thing. Thank you.
Start doing the right thing indeed. Our five-point agenda again is an acknowledgement of the grave constitutional grievances raised in the union dispute, an express commitment to decommission the imposed 1999 unitary constitution, an express commitment to shelve further national election under 1999 constitution, because if you do so, they are going to swear to uphold and promote and protect the whole thing, and nothing is going to happen. So until we can initiate an immediate transitioning process for fresh constitutional protocols, an invitation to the constituent peoples of Nigeria so that they can get this thing, because you guys are not used to having your slave be part of the decision making. So this is an invitation to the constituent peoples of Nigeria to work out the modalities for transitioning arrangements, including mandate timeframe, membership and ancillary matters. And then the last one is the announcement of a time-bound two-stage transitioning process, which shall, in the first stage, feature multi-regional referendums by which constituent components shall recommit to or opt out of the union. And in the second, these two terms of union as may be dictated by the outcome of the referendums. We've always encourage you guys to take a picture of this. So if you can understand this portion of the process, we are good to go. Let's be firm in our words. Let's be firm in our actions. Let's share this information. Continue to share this information. The reason why it looks like we are still in the same conditions that people are not getting this. A lot of them do have the information, but they are not understanding the process that is needed for us to end this madness, because it is a madness. This is a marriage from hell. This is a marriage that was not meant for us to survive in it. And we know that the so-called husband in this case has beaten us black and blue. So we need to end this madness. And then we'll continue with the spotlight on the wisdom of our ancestors. We love this section of our show, because for years we were told by the churches, by the Pentecostal churches, that our ancestors are evil, they're the one holding us down, not the British Fulani government. It's our ancestors that are holding us down. They put it in our head, told us to knock out and destroy everything that our ancestors left us, which was protecting our land. And as if that is not worse, they told us to start beating up our mothers. That is, our mothers that stop us from progressing, our mothers that stop us from getting married, just name it. They did it all. And in the process, they were enriching themselves and, of course, enjoying the so-called perks or that their so-called colonial masters are offering. So you see them flying jets when they live in amongst hungry people. You see them going overseas for their weddings and for their 50th anniversary. They are living it out while you are suffering. So let's pay homage to our ancestors so we can begin to return to our roots. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
they just bought one woman in her life, whether it's Akwa Ibom or wherever. They said that she's a witch. See how they make people behave in a very wicked way. Thank you so much. So leadership is what we want to look at today. Igbo culture. We use Igbo culture because we are Igbo women. You can go into your own and find out your own story, because we have over 350 ethnic nations and don't have their culture and the things they do. Try and go find them out, improve on the ones that you feel that do not meet human rights, for today. So that's what we're trying to do. So we are Igbos. As Igbos, we are Republicans, meaning that the people give power to their leaders to represent them and serve their interests. That's what leadership means in Igbo culture. That's what leadership means to us as Igbo. So the concept of Ohaneze, that's the people or the populace and the king and their king, it's together. They have to work together to take care of the society. It's not the king, monarch like you have in England. No, it's not that type of. We don't, as Igbo, what they're doing in England, we are not used to that type of thing. In our place, it is Ohaneze. The people are working together with their king to do whatever they need to do. So Nigerian system is strange to us as Igbo. This thing they're practicing in Nigeria, call it democracy, dictatorship, and all this military and feudalism and all those. So that's what we say, clash of civilization. We had our own civilization and we're moving with it. And the people that believe in feudalism and believe in a lack of constitution and everything, how to suppress people, kill them, cut them, we have believed that all men are born equal. So we work together. That is what leadership means to us. The concept of Igbo, people hear it and they would say it in a way that are lamenting. Oh, Igbo. No, it's not something for you to lament. What it means is that we have representatives, not Eze, like that ruler dictator thing. Because we believe that God is our ruler. It's only God, only. See, it's in capital. God is our ruler. So we fear God. We are people that fear God. We respect God. We do things that, this thing, God might not like it, or let's not do it. So we are not the people that, police will come and be looking for us and catch us. No, we already know growing up that if you do this, that it will not be good for my chi. My chi, we believe that my chi is guiding me. So if I do something to offend my chi, he will not guide me anymore. So we're not waiting for a ruler to come and impose and exert himself on us before we do the right thing. No, so that's what it means. Igbo Enweze. The Eze is God, but we can come together and work together and achieve what we want to achieve. We have council of chiefs and elders as king's advisors. These people are appointed on the ground of good standing within the community. That's why I hear things like Ezia Fakego. That means that we believe that good name is better than wealth or money. That's why when they say, Igbos love money, but no, it's all the corruption we got into because we're interacting with Nigeria, Britain, all these Gentiles. Before, we are not like that. Our ancestors did not value money more than good name. They work hard to maintain good name because they know that's the only way you can get into leadership in any community, family, or your kindred. You must maintain good character. You must have good standing in the community before you can lead the people. That is the way of our ancestors, and that has been what it was. And today we have inherited it, and we want to go back to it. For the leadership in Igbo land is for the purpose of law and order in the society. If there's no law and order in the society, there's no leadership. Whatever you have is fake. So in Nigeria, there's no order, there's no law, because there's no leadership. Because you don't even have a basis for leadership. The society is guided by truth, equity, justice, and fairness. That is Ezioku Ofono Ogu. Because we believe that Ojiofo Ghana, we believe that if you have what we call Ofo, which is like being fair, in what you do with your people, that eventually you will prevail no matter what the issue is. If you continue with truth and continue to do the right thing, then eventually you will prevail. Ojo for Ghana. So the society is guided by equity, fairness. This is what we are born into. It's not what the white man came to teach us. We are born into it. We are inherited it. This is our heritage. Then we have some groups, some institutions that you call the sacred and spiritual institution. Is by initiation, the Ichie title, the Ozona Nzenozo title. For instance, the Ichie title commands great respect in the community and they are highly revered. They have authority to speak and represent the family, kindred in any special gatherings. Then in the Nozo title, the custodian of truth. Truth means so much to us as Ndi that these people they mark their tongue with hot iron, is to ensure that that impression that they must speak truth at all times in whatever situation that is indelible in them. That's for you to be an Ozo, have an Ozo title. Nze Nozo. Nze means like you're kept sacred, like you're kept sacred. So it's almost like a spiritual group. So it means that you must respect truth before you can be that. And when an Nze comes to tell you something, you will believe it. It's like a Nazarene, in the Bible. Because they are kept holy, kept apart to prevail, to speak the truth at all times, because they are like the moral compass of the society. They are the dispensers of justice in the society, because our people believe that ezioku bondo, that truth will keep you alive. You see, this is in line with what you have in John 4:16, when Jesus Christ said, I am the way, the truth, and life. We already knew that. We knew that truth will prevail, will give you life. Ezioku bondo. Manasi buongo, lie will lead to death. Unlike what we have with our partners, some of our partners that want to impose their ways over us in Nigeria, where all they live with is falsehood, lies, and propaganda. That's not.
Even when they lie, so this is glaring at them, they are calling it something else.
Exactly. So that's why we keep saying that it's a clash of civilization that we have in Nigeria. We are not seeing things the same way. Our value systems are different. That's why these things are not working. And then we have democratic institutions to ensure equal representation for everyone, because we believe that all men are born equal. Nobody is more than the other one, like they have in their own system. These Fulani people, their feudalistic system, and all this that they suppress and impose people. That's the only thing they understand. That it's not like that in Igbo culture. We have the Umunna, the sons. We have the Umuada, the daughters. We have Inyomdi, the wives. And then we have different age groups, just to make sure that people are in different groups and institutions, and they will have representative, and everybody is taken care of. So governance in Igbo land is taken to the grassroots, so that everyone is represented and everyone is taken care of. We don't play with it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okwamkwuru that my ancestors are good, because I feel it. Like I practice it every day. I'm all about the truth and fairness and equity. And you watch people around you, like, where do you guys come from? Now it makes sense, my sister. Thank you so much for that powerful education. For those of you doing in Zenozo title and collecting money and leaving people, because now I've heard the amount that they charge to make you in Zenozo. Poor people cannot even afford it. So it's not about charging money, it's about putting hot iron in your tongue to leave an impression. So like you can never tell a lie. That's what it's all about. So it's not about raising funds and charging $500,000 per each son. That's not what it's all about. So thank you for thank you, Sister P, for that. So until next week, we are trying to finish by 1, but we managed today. So we did well. Please help us to share this information, share it out to people. We really, really need to embrace who we are. We are proud people, and we are not going to apologize for it. We are not. And we want you to be proud of who you are. Stay in your space. Let me stay in my space. Don't come to kill me. And we are good to go.
Yep.
We're good to go. If you decide to use urine for tea in the morning, God bless you. I don't drink urine. I'd rather not eat. Okay. So we'll see you guys next week. You take care. For those of you that stay throughout the show, we totally, totally appreciate you.
Yes.
Bye-bye.